OKFM 101.7.
Okay, 101.7. So yeah, Mira, Honorable Musah Superior. Rami Mwaji.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you too?
Yeah, you know.
And then the brofo no be frefre twi.
Oh yes. Say unim say me dey me twi no enye papa. Na ma kire Mustafa Hamid say on kire me twi.
Alaji.
But one time. Hey, akwa no to me catch you.
Hey.
Me cry me ngo, eye me ngo.
Otimi bu baby a.
I don't understand where he gets it from. He's so talented in chi. But Mr. Sisia Abaka Krakra. So I'm sure saying that they meet me here like 55% chi.
Wow, it's good. Now, NPP amanyuku. Sabi ye come Musah Superior, Honorable Musah Superior. Wonya akwala wom. Bra wa bre wom. Eba se obi enhwere ade wom a wa hwere anema wom. Efa se ye ni tumi a wadi wom enom ne ade. Na mame mfemfiri sei. Ede ben 2024 elections. Minim se bia wa ye assessment kakra. Ede ben the cause of the defeat of the NDC in your view.
First of all, no, me that's a power for this opportunity. Now, 2024 election, no, if you look at it, because that election, no, NDC defeat a party, no. So we 1992 elections are
Dr. Dubois.
Professor Dubois. Professor Dubois, presidential candidate. And then Alaji R.I. Alasan, vice. Then you had people like Darocha, Ajenim Boateng, and the rest are almost leading partner at that time.
General Secretary.
Then General Joseph Ajenim Boateng, one of the most principal people who in Ghanaian politics.
What you said, do baby, or turn it down the support.
Yes, I mean these are the kind of NPP are going forward, no, that we are looking for.
Okay.
Now, my main analyzing the reasons are defeat, no. So NDC defeat here big time. Now sa defeat no vote share voter form from 2020 votes no so a little over 30% nationally.
Wow.
Now for me no it was terrible. There are a number of reasons why sa defeat no number one is say elected leadership of the party across border. NPP or organizational structure be the base organization for your partner, your friend polling station executive.
Mm-hmm.
It means that polling station be in this country. There were 5 executives, 5 officers of the party are almost representing NPP. It was our polling station. Normally, no. Some of the polling station executives, no, they think, say, they are just there to vote in elections. But Omojuma, more than that. They are elected to run the party, to manage our party
at that base.
At the polling station. So actually say, any community are our polling station. For our 5 executives, no, the leaders of the party, it was our community, no.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of organization, welfare, issues of strategy, linking up with the polling station coordinator to keep the party healthy, so that election, then the party is healthier to compete. Then one of the things is to vote in constituency elections, any parliamentary elections.
Mm-hmm.
But the key thing is to organize, manage the party. So level no. Mm-hmm. The kind of leadership was our level no leadership no. The same thing if you jump from the polling station back to the constituency level, some of the constituency the performance was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then regional level, it was not okay. The West is the national level. And the reason why the base, no any middle, no any regional, no Nyejuma Papa, no, is because there's a leadership failure at the top. Now, Mamima example. This is okayfm. okayfm, Peace FM. Omo under a multimedia group. I friend. What's the name?
Despite media.
Despite media. Now, despite media, no omo
Yeah,
management. There's a big management on top. More organogram.
Yeah, organogram.
There is a management, and I friend whatever name you call it, either executive management or management on top. Omo no supervising the entire despite media. Now, Kwame Nkrumah say otiha now jumano and kuya. It means that there is lack of supervision. Now, lack of supervision, no. If there is no supervision, there cannot be appraisal.
But any general secretary, you were just in Kobe in Como, and said 3 or 4 days ago. What was it do, baby? Ube conflict, party chairman, MDC, DC, any one or more parliamentary candidate. Who solve a problem now? No more.
It means that there is no discipline, and where there is no discipline, so general secretary or Kasa, it means that or shooting who in the foot. Because you are the general secretary of the party, your constitution, your power, Edima general secretary, no, the presidential candidate doesn't even have that power.
Wow.
I'm telling you, if you look at under the general secretary, roles are the constitution has given to the general secretary. No. In fact, only the most powerful officer of the party, the most powerful. Because who watch your constitution now, what is the role of the chairman? Chairman no or say, unconvene the meetings of all the institutions of their party, the National Steering Committee, the National Executive Committee, the National Council, and the National Conference. Nobody can convene that meeting apart from the chairman. And then the other responsibility of the chairman in the constitution is on presiding over those meetings. That is what the constitution has said about the general chairman, the national chairman. But the general secretary say, your leg officer of the campaign representing the 4 institutions of the party, the National Steering Committee, the National Executive Committee, the National Council, and the National Conference. Apart from that, head of the party headquarters. The head of the party headquarters, no amount for be brain name, and yet the national chairman, the leader at the party headquarters, the general secretary. And the constitution also have opportunity, lazy between the office of the general secretary and the party and all other institutions of the party across board, whether in the UK, in the US, in the Tamale Central, in Asawasi, in Keta, unaube liaison officer. So Juma Aoyeno is a big job. Now, so obe catch them and say, oh, there are problems in the party. Emma, the parliamentary candidate, any chairman, any other people are. It means that all lucky the stamina and the discipline to manage them, and therefore that is failure. So I think the general secretary should not be speaking like that, because or speaking like that he shoots himself in the foot. In the times of Ajenim Boatin, or a 2-term general secretary of the party, because he started and on or a general secretary, and then he got re-elected again, probably I think in 1990.
He comes from Asante Mampong.
Okay. I mean, Ajenim Boatin now are very, very, very strong. Now the party leadership, they respected him. Now you're pointful as well. Now Kasaba or Bekano plainly. Damboche was like that. Sir John was very powerful. So you have to have some control to be able to discipline the party, to be able to bring the party together. So Sir Kasano, I don't accept it. But let me move on to discussion at Mr. T.
Okay.
So sir, at the party level, now there was some level of inefficiency and laziness, because we are party nipa elect in 2022. Now 2022 I call election. The mandate was for them to deliver in the polls. Now sir mandate you have to have a strategy, any program to be able to deliver.
Sure.
Now between 2022 and at the time election, now it appears to me there was no strategy and there was no program. Now we are leadership of a party now only strategy, only program. There is no work plan.
Na dia na ma hu say wo ni strategy.
Oh, now said the whole country was struggling. It tells you that the whole country was struggling. Election now almost every region declining. Every single region, including our beloved Ashanti region, first no bar form. Should I say, either you had no plan, and our plan I will put it out. No, it didn't work. So on the basis of that, no, it is so prominent and revealing. Say, a hard power. So the national executives, no, were one of the reasons party in Lucia. They didn't supervise the party well, no money plan, and therefore they have no business to say omba be revive for any election, because the party people
Obi I can say they are the top there. Down there no so regional party chairman wanyu adwuma, regional constituency chairman wanyu adwuma, na executive from wanyu adwuma no, you are part and parcel of the problem, because
there's no plan.
Okay.
Now say plan no be tickle. Now say my example about despite multimedia group.
Sure.
The executive the lead supervisory body of SAB manage despite media group. So the munjina work to plan. Munjina work to say plan no nyejuma. He said the management had to step down, or they have to find a way to revise plan. No? So that is exactly what is happening. So form the same catchers form and the reason is that there was lack of proper supervision and management and leadership from the top. So on the basis of that, no, when we say it has become a difficulty for the party in the 2024 election,
now running mates for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh is on record to have said the tape is there all over. Or say Omaru Sanda, City FM, say he was chosen, say, or the Ashanti votes in Beba. No, so be a babusa sadi and be a useless question.
Oh, he said that.
Yeah. Now, Baumianson or the Northern vote in Bayana.
Are you sure, say, Honorable Matthew Upoku Prempeh said the Ukaya?
No, can we hear no children who say a defeat all over the country? And Bebusan said, was it Baumianson and choosing because he is an Ashanti?
I think Sakasano onjai emboa party.
Why?
Because yes say second in command in the last election. So say be like this bar now obe kasa, you should reflect over whatever you are going to talk about, because part no yes a reorganization, any rebuilding. Now they all cannot meaning because we all knew say one of the reasons choosing was to work very hard and mobilize the votes from our brothers in Ashanti. That was the key reason why he was choosing, and therefore I don't agree with it. But let's move on with the management and the organization of the party.
Okay.
So me say the national executive no the weakest link ombe bois your base no find resources, thinking, any plan, any ideas, any activities, so that a better man mobilize and organize the party at the constituency level. No. Now between 2022 and at the time election in 2024, no, say the most dominant party in government in the history of this party was between 2022 and 2024. In fact, I can tell you, now me challenge you, Omo indicated, and I want them to publish, National Executive, Omo publish Omo activity plan in the last 2 years for us. Nasa activity plan.
They were dormant.
They were dormant. They were nowhere. Omo publish Omo activity plan. They should indicate in the last 2 years what they did in the northern region, in all the 18 constituencies in the northern region. Omo indicated what they did in Upper East region, in all the constituencies in the Upper East region within the last 2 years. Omo indicated tangible program ben Omo year in the Volta region. How many national officers Omo visited Volta region? How many national officers are almost VT Ashanti region? How many national officers are almost VCT Central region? And so visit no dear no almost yeah. Almost VCT Central region, the communities be no almost call yeah. Problems be no almost resolve here between that time. That is why we're talking about a work plan. Now, running an organization without a work plan, now you would definitely fail. So failure away there, a glaring failure, a hard dream. So that is the number one reason. The national executive officers didn't do well. Now, because of lack of performance, a hard party no pa. Maminka be being show. This party, very weak.
It's weak.
It's weak.
As in what?
Okay, I'll explain. You see, anytime you choose a presidential candidate, then the party gives into the presidential candidate. Anytime party will choose presidential candidate, then the presidential candidate no overwear or manipulate the party. This time, it's the same thing. Anytime we are in government, the president finds a way to manipulate the party. Anytime you were government, and the worst of it was even under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, or manipulating your party, and every single day.
Now,
the actions, yeah,
okay.
The actions, any actions, undermining the party. So until the party reorganizes and says, no, this party, one single party, managed by the National Council with delegated responsibility to National Executive Committee and Steering Committee. Now, any other individual or institution is under the party. So that Yetimi hold the firm principles and make sure, say, party is not moved away from the center to people's homes and people's houses and people's offices are. This is the way the party is going to be. So, I say, reassert who we are as a party. Look at the mobilization in 1992. Jerry Rawlings governed this country for 11 years. And then he formed a party on the 28th of July 1992. That time, the presidential election on the 3rd of November. It means that the party was in existence for just 5 months. Now, with this 5 months, with the kind of leadership I want to distinguish B.J. Darocha, indomitable, courageous, fearless Professor Dubois, Alhaji Malik Yakubu, and co people like Ajenim Boateng,
the J.H. Mensah,
J.H. Mensah, and co Teresa Tego, Gladys Asma. I mean, these were the people who are almost leading the super mobilization. In fact, the most important and biggest NPP mobilization in our history was in 1992.
The Christian Churchill.
The Christian Churchills. They didn't know, Araya Lassan, Alaji Salifu, COP, Alaji Sakabawa, Wema, and the rest of Odoi Sykes, Jacob Echebi, Lamte Young. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
The young, he was pushing for democratization of your country. So that time, mobilization, BW. Because at that time there was so much fear. Now,
before then, no movement for change,
exactly. Now Rawlings was putting the fear. In fact, hijacking our election. So our election was fraught with impersonation, rigging, all manner of things. At the end of the day, ballot box,
opaque. And a classroom.
Exactly. Now, our classroom, structural organizations are committee for the defense of the revolution, and then the CDOs and co. Now we are very active and very frightful. So, intimidating vote. But at the end of the day, the percentage MPP got was a super percentage. 30% of the Ghanaian people said, no, we want democracy. And then later, investigation, which said that election was actually stolen. In fact, that is why the MPP wrote the stolen verdict. Yeah. This is the kind of injection injecting in our party going forward. Now, before we do that, no, it is my humble suggestion, say, so our current national executive, I say, almost stand down so that we can have an interim management committee.
Oh,
I'm telling you, that is what I'm suggesting. Because almost scorecard is the most terrible scorecard since 1996. So with this scorecard, how do you then say, who per se own supervising your reorganization? Very, very terrible scorecard. In fact, our defeat is the most embarrassing defeat for your party. Now it affects a lot of people in their party. So my view is that they should all stand down en bloc. They should stand down. National, because almost scorecard no terrible. Scorecard no engagement. The National Council should quickly meet and then put together an interim management team to oversee our rebuilding process. No, you cannot use such a cack-handed organization to do the rebuilding. With what ideas again? Election, and we have lost this election so catastrophically. Now, say supervising, and then we have had an apology coming from the party. Yeah, Mati said a couple of days ago there was an apology issued.
From the General Secretary. Yeah.
It is very, very bad. You don't issue apology. But you stand down where there is principle. You don't issue an apology, because our apology, apologies to me working in certain aspect of life, but in some other aspect of life, now one of those aspects of life, our apology is the situation we have found ourselves, because we need to rebuild the party and reclaim government in 2028 and do what we do best for our country. Because I am confident that, look, whatever the NDC we do at the end of the 4 years, you will realize that they can't match us in terms of governance. But because of decisions are yet taken here, and I'm sure we will come to that, decisions are yet taken as a government, coupled with the inefficient performance of the current national executives, a higher partner power, and then Ghanaians said, look, enough is enough. We can no longer go with this. Now, to abandon against you people, so that you will go back and then plan and come back again, because the MOYano Mbwa. Now, your party officers are almost around the country. Communications officers, research officers are almost party. Find out. Say, we are one of the leading journalists in this country. After this conversation, we'll conduct some research around the country, and find out whether they were given the resources to work, whether not or more equipments to work.
No.
So
it's emphatically no.
Exactly. This party had no plan.
Because I was saying, I had no resources.
It is everywhere. Now
no.
you don't rush in with resources at time election. The BMK presidential candidates don't win elections. The BMK no, presidential candidates don't win election. The most intelligent, the most powerful, the most resourceful presidential candidate on to me winning election on the back of a weak party.
Wow.
It is the party they come organize the party and make the party strong and make it acceptable and make it appropriate and motivate the people. So party no come together, then the presidential candidate can lead. If you choose the most intelligent presidential candidate and he's leading a weak party, he ain't me winning election. And that has been the case with the NPP in the 2024 election. We say party across board now problems, war party, leadership problems, resources problems, lack of training, technical officers of their party, they were left to one for
Honorable Mami Musah, the candidature of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, one of the reasons in this okayfm North, and now Mahama Sufi North, beginning now, his sister John Damani Mama, I can say, you guys will use him and dump him. A basse, Mudini Begina as a presidential candidate, you go and pick somebody elsewhere. Until you omdina begina, the crop of it is said, you benya vote to Nubebe, Mubenya vote to Nubebe from the 5 northern regions. afei de zongo so no so ebeto the first time kramoni so eba begina saa de ni nyina anya dwuma why
you know mami make a correction of this assumption here because assumption boy who say Ghana everywhere in the Ghana in all the 16 regions across board no numbers no baffle
sure
everywhere
in
fact it is only in the northeast region where Dr. Baumia comes from say the numbers went up so if you check the records it will tell you
okay
now nka the okay no nka be no kre if the numbers were up in the other regions and then they were down in the north and the Zongo communities if the numbers were up in Ashanti, in Brono Ahafo, in Easting, in Volta, in Oti, and then in the northern part of the country the numbers were down, then you can make a logic argument, in fact a rational argument, say your own people the whole country didn't vote for the NPP. And they didn't vote for the NPP for two reasons. One of the reasons here discussing the lack of, smart performance by party leadership. And they are not affecting party. They had no motivation, no money, resources. The party was struggling across the world between 20. How can you be a political party? I suppose any bridge. A political party must be a bridge between the party people and the government machinery, so that your party for they compete my climate bridge and access support from government. But this bridge broke down. It was totally broken down. So there was a yawning gap between the government machinery and your party people, and therefore a lot of your party grassroots people suffered unduly. How do you have constituency? There was 17 officers in every constituency. So mathematically, do this mathematics for me. So you multiply 17 by 275, you will get a particular number. And this number, what is the number? 4,675. Now, are you telling me, say, and this 4,675, some of them actually work, some of them are in business. So let's say 50% of the 4,675 or more juma. The rest of the 50%. How is it that they didn't have jobs? On the basis of what? Who can argue, say, why the rest of our constituency executives are more qualifications to work and those are more need qualifications? No. Why is it their partner?
Maybe the jobs were not there.
There are jobs. You cannot say that. Look, in Africa here and in some parts of the world, even in the US, you saw the way Trump or any appointment. Patronage politics.
Sure.
Buami namin buao. And we have just seen the kind of appointment.
And that is why
we have
President Mahama is doing.
We have just seen the kind of appointment President Mahama is doing. So if you say almost need the right qualification to fit in certain jobs, then you can make a case for that. But say almost qualified, and I tell you, majority of our constituency officers are almost nijuma. Some of them are degree holders, some of them are masters. And I'm saying that say almost let's assume say crowd almost nijuma. What is the plan? Side party plan then work so that plan can be used to ensure say almost who are benefiting economically because their business are unbetmaye. And therefore that is why the party should have a business development unit. Now, our business development unit, to work in tandem with a research office, so that you our research, and see the kinds of things I bet my as a political party to make sure that your party for they are economically viable. Because on an advantage, say party for they are economically viable, but they be or more personally invest into the party without even waiting for resources from Accra. Because you're organizer now Juma and you got the job through the party. Say party no be maybe funeral outdoor na sika from headquarters we bet man make a contribution so that our social event party can be represented. These are the kind of things I echo. So bridge the only way to mend the bridge is for those who have destroyed the bridge to go so that we can get new set of workforce on Betman Mendy bridge.
Now, honorable questions me baako say national officers emfa omo de no nto because of an abdication of responsibility. What about womo so omo tran region? Eso ye nhwe ha womo anya dwuma, omo tran constituency. Obi anko anase omo de omo nka ho.
That no, if say you proper leadership, supervision no be change. There will be proper appraisal in the system, and there will be a work plan. Because now Uti region who are now constituents, are now polling station, who now the leadership of the party on top. No, there's no work plan for you. It doesn't motivate you to work. But I'm saying say across board, no, most of your party officers, no. And therefore, say, but elections are most of them one. In fact, it was not about the entire fact that say party at the national level no there. Most of your party officers are at the top now. So they say are very brave, competent, intelligent, smart people from across the organizational structure of their party, polling station, electoral area, constituency, regional, and national.
Now, obi say me hu obi atwa ba say enye ba omia na ebibie even Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh can say issues so ema mudi kuguo no such defeat no. One is on the economy wasn't performing well, come de nkrofo no na ade. Two is about governance, and they begin say hey now say Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh o kasa ade a na say it's a referendum on another's
now say a discussion about because two legs. I'm giving two reasons why.
Okay.
Here, Lucy. So the first reason discussing about the party, and I'm saying say no, the party leadership no, they perform so poorly, and they be judging omu performance. Na benchmarking the performance of other leadership no. In fact, the blame leadership criticizes so heavily no. Omu 138 seats. And then we need presidential by 53%. In fact, over 53%. Yes, the blame leadership of the NPP, no, and that time the John Boyd is general secretary. But who say criticize you more because who say at the time buy no now your seats no was over 160. I think probably 163. Is that correct? Yeah, 163.
Yeah.
169.
169.
And then buy no you lose 6 no, and then decrease a number no from 169 to 137, and then presidential election no, we just won by 3 percentage points. I think your mama had 48 or 47, 4 percentage points I think. But we went around the country and say no, this is not the kind of leadership we are looking for. The kind of leadership we are looking for should rather increase your numbers in parliament and make sure that we have a massive record in the presidential elections. And then you a campaign, and at the end of the day, John Boydu and the rest of them are more Lucy or more positions. As a result of that, no, the current executive no buy. And then, lo and behold, 2024, 137 seats to 89 seats. Is that correct?
Yes.
88 seats.
The fall is so steep.
I mean, the white man will say it is an obliteration, complete annihilation. Finish here, we are not existing. In fact, in parliament, it will be a formality for our members to just go there and sit down because there's a constitutional implications. If you don't go to a parliament for a number of days, you will have problems. So, and NDC, recruiting the 4 independent candidates to caucus with them. So numbers are NDC one. They can do anything they want in this country. Now the NPP should never ever be in this situation before, like that, because set pieces of Ghana's democratic journey. So a problem, and that is why, for example, there shouldn't be any conversation at any level to want to encourage this current executive to stay in power for the next 2028 election. It will be
but some 10 and so you best 2026.
No, you see, my I say take it drastic. Look, desperate situations require drastic measures. That is why I made me a direct appeal to the National Council to request for them say almost stand it down. Now I'm forming the interim management committee to do the rebuilding. Who say almost setting up a committee?
A committee. I want to come and say, why don't we wait? Now committee a report number that fact finding
committee no a cover up.
Oh sir,
it's a massive cover up.
Why?
Probably led by Dana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo. This committee is a massive cover up.
That's number one. What did he you
who there? Sir, or your Ghanaian citizen member of this party.
Oh, sure.
Now he should be interested in the way this party will come back after this catastrophe. Sir committee no. Almost find how yeah, the MI Lucy and yes I know. Now Obia nim why we lost. There's nobody in there. In fact, the general secretary of their party is on record to have said that one of the reasons I hear Lucy because we are not fair to our party people. Now, or see, we are not fair to our party people. Who was not fair to the party people?
Okay,
the party and the government. Or say we didn't treat our party people well. So, or to me, communicated two reasons why we have lost. But there are other reasons, and I have just been communicating a number of them here. The chairman of the committee, in his own constituency, he should be telling us why we lost in his own constituency. Domi Kwabinya constituency. You see here. And it's a miserable loss. Because a key constituency for the NPP. That's number one. Number two, I mean, 80 years. I'm sure 81 years. Now, the SETI committee, there was 16 regions, 275 constituencies, and there are younger people in this party, people like Jugati, John Bwidu, and the rest of the very, very young people in this party are on the institution of their party. Now, the SETI committee to really investigate why we have lost the election, and we think that an older person probably fraught with unhealthy situations are only the
but the national organizer no meaning the nkomo na bi abeka say the fact say wanyini no enkyere say sabi na dwene enweke say you fine old gentleman.
It's not an accurate statement.
Oh,
na so on benanti the whole country on
maybe baby how be could be on betna.
No, we need a young person who can go everywhere. Now, who are chairman of a committee or call Garu Tumpani to sit and you are in Accra. Now, the Omuko Sefi also you are in Accra. And then, amazingly, more issue email addresses for how many party people in this country are on more email. How many party people are more email? Let's be serious about this. This is a massive cover-up because they don't want people to talk about it or more hardly put a committee together. And I tell you, watch. The outcome of the committee report, ube frame I catch them and say Musah, the okay massive cover up. We lost because we had a very poor, lazy party executives. And then we will talk about the other one, the governance issues. So now in this party, I say and when you speak the truth, and then they will send their boys to come after you. Now me, I'm not sure I'm the type of person I will get demotivated to participate in the party's activities because people are talking of bad of me. The culture of silence. Now, we are the liberal Democrats. A BB opportunity should be given for party people to make a contribution publicly and do an open surgery. Now, people want to cow people into silence. It is not the reason why people like Darocha and Co.
Okay,
I mean, Odoi Sykes, people like Peter Alajeti, Mariama Sampaga. This is not the reason why they almost put you neck to the knife and got this party formed.
I'm a Buzia.
I'm a Buzia and Co. I mean, count them all over the country.
Davia Mamu.
The unsung heroes of their party. Now, so it's our party there. Now, anybody are all person or making this party say silent over issues won't succeed because the principles and the values of this party is underpinned by our democratic principles, by our liberalism, by our openness and transparency. So kasaye kaninya even if the committee is a real committee, says somebody should be ringing a member of the committee and say, can you listen to okay right now? Musah Superior is there doing an analysis of why we lost. So that when you now but you cannot have a party say people don't want to be criticized. And then you claim say we are a democratic party. You are not democratic if you ultimately tolerate criticisms. Now all the criticisms I have heard no are positive. Now all the criticisms I have heard positive.
You run another Kwakufuadu. The performance as president of the republic affected the party's chances, Anna.
Yeah, it does. It does because say by government no. Now you're running the government. Then at one particular stage, things were tough. Like you said, no, now economy and the finances of the country became a problem. Now we borrow more. So borrow, and then it came to over 700 and something, $1 billion. Okay, and we are told there was even a conflict of interest. The organization that was leading this borrowing thing and standing as a consultancy, it was Kenoforiates Bank. And I think that was absolutely not acceptable. So because he was there, no, yeah, borrow more.
Oh, but what can I say? Day-to-day running of this company, no, when you're involved.
Master, we all know that. I mean, these are all cover-up talks. It is your company. Whether you were not involved or not, it is your company. Then over 90 MPs, members of parliament, almost say they wanted to have a conversation with the president. And there are almost problems in the economy and almost constituents, almost juma, almost constituency people to Abama. Almost by the president didn't want to meet them. According to one of them, are all making public statement and meeting. Then they decided there's a press conference. So I think it was after the press conference that they were invited. Now, how can a president sit down happily to say 90 MPs were wrong? Now he and Kenoforiata is right. And for me, it doesn't show he was flexible on that occasion. So or Kachiramu say now the finance minister or leading the IMF program. Now it is in the middle way at a particular time through the program that the president feels that they are all required to change the finance minister or be changing. That didn't happen. Then these people gave up. Then later, some mini reshuffle, and then he reshuffled him, and even gave him a job in the presidency. And I think that was an insult to the Ghanaian people and the NPP people, because this is the same person who be say, "Wama economy no ankoye," and then you do this. So he was then advising the president in terms of the capital market, and he became a special advisor to the president on finance, and that was not accepted. So he didn't listen to them. That's number one. Number two, the whole Ghana, including a lot of NPP people, say, hey, reshuffle this government, here fresh ideas, we need fresh faces, reshuffle. Now the mandate, our mandate Okita as president, it was given to you by the Ghanaian people. And therefore, it's sometimes very, very important to listen to the people and do what the people want, even if they are wrong. So that you will show that respect what the mom. Then you can begin to correct the wrong. But on this occasion, they were right. Say things were not going. Reshuffle. And the man will say the kind of statement or make here. For me, he shouldn't have made those statements as a president.
They suffered for going on that tangent. They suffered for going on that tangent. Those 90 MPs, no.
Yes, but it doesn't. We shouldn't be running a democracy like that. Now, on the watch of Akufo-Addo, these things will happen. No, serious indictment on his leadership. So as for that one, I'll leave that. I mean, he should handle that problem, because we say we're a democratic person and people air their views. It is important you respect their views and then you allow the process to go. So that's number one. Number two, how is it that the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, Obaha, in one of your studios, Peace FM, Bisano about e-levy. And this man was categorical, the number 2 person in this country Or say, no, e-levy there, it's not something this government is thinking. And then he even gave a reason why this government will aim for e-levy. Or say, e-levy no ebe ha poor people. Then, a couple of weeks' time, there was an e-levy. Actually, say, this was an unstable government. And it was actually a disgrace on the vice president. And the reasons why I'm pushing for e-levy, because the vice president had advised cabinet that the e-levy, and this one I'm telling you, I'm from a very reliable source, he had told cabinet that this e-levy is not good for this country. A number of people, in fact, I think that Nana B had made a public statement about it, the national organizer of their party, said the e-levy is not good. But they brought the e-levy. So, our policy, you can't say, and then later we brought it, the judgment of the government was poor, and this was bad. You about the respect for traditional authorities. Our President of the Republic of Ghana, our own, you are traveling around the country for social events, and then you instruct chief say, almost sorry, na chiao. Na
Sadia no any effect on the electoral outcome.
Of course, because me, I'm a traditional Dagomba person. If you come to my community as a president and ask my chief to wake up, if I am not a true proper NPP person, I will vote against you because you have disrespected my chief. It doesn't work like that. No, he was doing all these things. His body language at public events. Look at I think there was a national program, Omobo national anthem. A particular chief was seated. And Anado could have calmly told the regional minister quietly, can you go and talk to the chief not to do that? But who said?
By force, sorry.
National anthem there, you have to respect it.
But
it doesn't
can
matter.
He do that
and yes, if Otunfo wants to respect it and stand up, must stand up. But to say the way are all But in another event, the daughter was handling a phone all over the place. Did he tell her to stop?
It is
that is the problem. So all these things affect the
because when the entire make sir, me free, baby I'm free no, per our tradition no, say otun for bar, that privilege to sit. You that privilege to sit whilst others are standing up. So no, a cultural some history bisa. Me question is say, ebi anana no kura ote wono ne na ye ne ya. Nti when you see about national anthem.
Say later, the officer issue statement actually say now on Tiapo.
And
they made that statement. But the American will say exactly. That is my problem. Even if you the president believe Chinchina say national anthem a chief should stand up. So the way to communicate it to the regional minister should have been much more sober, so that it doesn't show say you were angry, because this was a chief. It was not Musah superior, Kwame Tikase, any other person. This was a big chief in I think in the Greater Accra region. Now the way or showing anger, it didn't show correct temperament, and I think that it affected the party around the country, and the chiefs were having a conversation. So chiefs knew working against us in almost everywhere. Some of the chiefs are almost Nipakra. They were not happy with those things. Conversations like, oh, you didn't vote for me, and therefore that is why me free. So
voter and the confit chiefs.
So these were some of the reasons and I'm happy say this conversation back out for us to talk, so that your corrections you better make it. So these are and then how can you say yeah, haircut? People have put their money, old people have put their money, They have entrusted their money for security, for savings, and then the government will come and say, look, Sikano, some of the money will no longer belong to you. We are running a restructuring process because of IMF. On the basis of that, no, we part of your money are for a haircut. These were voters. Now, more extended families. So they were very upset. We saw the former Chief Justice all leading demonstrations against the government. Now, if you see, people took it lightly. A whole former Chief Justice leading a demonstration. What is he telling the middle class? The middle class are, party for say, voters, no, you have the middle class are grow older, and these were educated people this country, work for this country, and then their monies were going. So these were the issues, and some issues, no, it's a very important having conversations about it.
Wow. Now, mami, question be beba na mami test message kakra aba na fi yeni nkomo abusuafo yeni honorable Musah Superior. Waye NPP ba amapa wa contest general secretary position of the party ni pen na waye former mayor of Tamale ene na twen komo message amode aba obetim di afam aguso e de aba number no eye 0208 772772 0208 772 okay 101.7 Ernest from Taifa was see well besides national position no we are interested in any of the national positions and na position be na wope true say abysmal performance of the government, you know, also you do call say koye mayor no anya de enti na bia na na doje wakonya na eno eye ba ko what say okay mame inhwe message no ahodo ba aha wasn't per the honorable Musah Superior eka no e kire say from police station to national obi ankwa na say including ono ankasa we say no in charge of forestry in the forestry one e dey now here to win 2024 elections we be so contest any position you should do so and stop blaming national executive members because so what can e dey now so here JB from Sawam ni dey a dey ba no I'll see midin de aigbe adade from a shaman was a problem no sika ya no de ma delegates no it do the ma delegates no amokoto eyi candidate na obi a wanya bia ono so nkoto nti ono so na idea ono so e de e ba ye no mama samra question another question obi see so you claim says we are spoken about niema wodo na ekoso wa ban ma ni nyinanye na mimusa positions no what contest be se base ye ya
ono say anybody or can about position as MCC or jumping gun can about positioning yeah open public surgery for problems are ACN na and see how partner be panning out. Now, say about position, who can about position, I will be jumping gun. Now, me the me responsibility as a party person to make sure say they are happy, you know. I say talking about it so that they find a way to address those problems. So currently, we shouldn't be talking about we person post. Election 2 years from now. Now, why would anybody be thinking of contesting a position now? It is not the best thing. There's a problem in the party now. Let's come together and rebuild the party. That is the most important thing for me. Not in
the interim. Obi bisa say in the interim and long term, no steps Ben as a party to rebuild trust with the Ghanaian populace.
The most important thing is that we should stop conducting ourselves in a manner demonstrate say we are arrogant people. I say and stop it. And that is why to accept some of the things are what the country and like the kind of conversations are and then the other one any genuine reforms in the party. Now me see reforms no omuma obi anto abano Omuma NPP, who
Every
ID,
card.
who membership card. Now we are good standing nature say utua odiusa. Unto abano. Now who call ye 5 people polling station, for example, my constituency delegates no, they are not even up to 1,000 people. So in the last elections, primary side, there were a lot of things that they were totally illegal, but the party looked on. But if you say now it will be very, very difficult to bribe MPP membership, because most of them they won't be available to be bribed. Now, what time no because they no say call round say call community you are inviting all the MPP people and talk to them. If you have, for example, polling station or 30 or 40 people registering as MPP members, now we are good standing now. And now we have it across the country. Every polling station, the minimum of people are register and have a membership card. Now sa number no constituency bia no untimi come on television any fridges as nipa 30 per polling station no, and you have probably over 2,000 polling stations.
You can't do that,
my brother. So I say open up. Na sa open up no has to be drastic, so that ebe prevent these kind of things. The other thing I mean proposing is a national council. I say national council. I say I think it should be abolished.
Why?
Yeah, because it has become an institution now which is being manipulated by normally the presidential candidate and the president. So and then we leave them, because we say membership are our national executive committee, no, almost the same membership are our national council. But with national council, no, additions be say regional representation and some other things. We have 20 members of parliament. 20 members of parliament are almost representing MPs on the national council. Some of these members of parliament, at the time I hear government, a few of them will be ministers of state. Now, a minister of state going to national council, you think he has the audacity to challenge the president? We have former general secretaries, former national chairmen, and all these things. But you limit at the end, the bureaucracy in the part and what steering committee, national executive committee, national council, national conference. No, we should have steering committee and national executive committee, and most of the decisions, take place in the steering committee. Probably 90% of your decisions, the steering committee should take the decision, because there was fair representation. Amount for name the membership of the steering committee. In fact, it is one of the most powerful organs of the party.
Steering committee,
The steering committee, who say membership, national chairman, all elected officers of the party, all elected. Chairman, first vice, second vice, organizer, general secretary, youth organizer, Nasara coordinator, women's organizer. And then we were chairman of the council of elders. Then we were the leader of our group in parliament. Then we have the president and the presidential candidate. Now we are members of the steering committee. So they have fairly represented the country. So say NDC functional executive committee
fake.
Very, very powerful.
Very strong.
So most of the decisions that we hear are communicated to the country by the NDC. Decisions are taken by the functional executive committee. So per se, reforms then let's make sure decisions are taken. Most of those decisions should be taken. After all, the steering committee any in charge of the day-to-day management of the party. The other thing is, Parliament, almost standing committee, is clear about how you choose your leadership in Parliament. It should be chosen by members of the Parliament. You ain't changing our constitution, and not allow the National Council to choose leaders for us in Parliament. They should allow the people in Parliament, a group to choose leadership. Because who watch ya? So 20 people are national executive chooses 20 people.
Okay.
It is a parliamentary group, not the party. So it should be the other way around. Now elections are now going forward. My view is that we shouldn't have a campaign team again.
Campaign team?
No, it is totally unnecessary.
Why?
Because campaign team bar.
A mobile draft strategies.
Campaign team bar. Undermining the hierarchy of the party. So say election time draw maybe 1 year to the election. Yet to me, the national executive, the steering committee into a campaign team so that ombe dual responsibility. Ombe national executive committee and a campaign team. And then 3-4 people. How is it that the whole party, currently, we have a director in charge of campaign strategy. In the national campaign, there was no director for campaign strategy. You do your investigation. The director of the campaign strategy for this party, there's a director. So as a turn the steering committee into a campaign and then find 3-4 people and add the national treasurer of the steering committee, in my view, should be the director of finance. The national chairman, in my view. Now, normally you campaign as your campaign chairman, then you campaign manager, then you chairman of the campaign coordinating committee. This is bureaucracy way in IMY. Your campaign management body to be headed by the campaign manager. Period. Your campaign chairman, and then the reporting system, very cumbersome.
There were lapses in oversight.
Exactly. Now, some people were, people claim say they were. If you go and form a lot of people into one group and make them campaign team, it is very, very likely that some people will not be used. Now, because they are not used, they won't be happy. Now,
because na yewo chairman Fred Owari.
Okay.
No,
you're vice chairman to Dambuchi. No, we are menu. Chairman Fred Owari and Nana Akumia. No, we are 2 vice chairmen to Dambuchi. And then you come down under Dambuchi, you will operate as campaign manager. That is why I'm saying, it's needless. You don't need a lot of people to form a campaign team. Once you turn a national steering committee into a campaign team, then the director of operations will definitely be the national organizer. The deputy director of operations will be the youth organizer. The finance director, the treasurer of the party. Why is it that the whole treasurer of a party seti campaign team and somebody is ahead of him in terms of finance? Yes, we can find 3-4 people and co-opt them so that on be part of the national steering committee to form the campaign team. And we should have one leader of the campaign team and yet not several leaders. Now one national campaign chairman, and then you have a national campaign manager, and then you have a national chairman of the national coordinating committee. It means that there are 3 leaders in a campaign. Now, it makes management become very, very difficult. So my proposal to the party, which I'll be doing very soon formally, is in the future, a steering committee, into the campaign. The chairman of the Council of Elders is there. He can be a chief advisor to the campaign. In our case, it is currently Hackman Oswajiman, and everybody knows this is a very experienced man in politics.
Sure.
Now, if you make him the chief advisor to the campaign, the national chairman, I heard the general secretary make a very valid point. Say the national chairman should be the chairman of the campaign. In fact, he should not the chairman. He should be the manager of our campaign, so that the general secretary another position in the campaign, so that steering committee then the whole thing will go out there and use the constituency officers and any polling station officers. Because if you go out there, because the last campaign there was something they call sharpshooting and it Go TV. Most of these sharpshooters and Go TV people now they were not officers of the party at the ground. These were different groups are all more campaign. Now, let's use the party structures at the constituency level. The constituency executive, a year to the election, should be inaugurated as the constituency campaign team. 3-4 people in addition. At the regional level, the regional executive should be inaugurated as the regional campaign team with the addition of 3 or 4 people are certain expertise they lack at that level. Then I think that will help the party. There will be cohesion in the party, so the party will be mobilized.
Run up to elections, na niema nyina wo trim uma party for asote.
Oh, say party way there. Look, for example, in 2022, we make a public statement. Now, verifiable. So see, I will call internet so I'll be home. Now, me say, youth in afforestation, NAPCO, school feeding, national service, teacher trainee, nurses trainee. I made this statement probably around July 2022. I think so, July 2023 or so. And I said, government in Tuomo. Because a government in Tuomo, a beha party, I said it. Then later, probably around August, me make another statement. And this time, I was directing our statement to the yet to be elected presidential candidate of the party. And these are public statements. Say, if the presidential candidate is elected, you should insist that these payments are made. I made that statement. And I said, party should find a way and empower the party people. So those of you, Bisa say, dear Nami, when I was Deputy Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission, these are the some of things I've said publicly, which political appointee, government appointee has publicly issued such a statement. How is it that you have election, 3 months to elections, in October, then the Public Utility Regulatory Commission are increasing tariffs, water bill, any light bill, 3 months to election.
2 days to election.
No, me make a public statement. And I said, this is verifiable. And I was a member of the government then. I wasn't talking as a non-officer of government. Let me a member of government. Almost say reshuffle. The cousin of the president. A lot of people say now you're very, very powerful in the government. Gabi has a rochriga. But making statement be ridiculing Ghanaians. And I'm sure you read the statement say, it's as if you're reshuffle Ukraine won't be stop it. As if you're reshuffle now dollar.
Maybe he said it in jest.
No, but I'm saying he said this was not a statement that was supposed to be made by somebody close to the president. It was an unfair statement on now who taking the Ghanaians for granted. Let me make a public statement against him. In fact, a lot of people called me and say, now if you are not careful, you will lose your job. I told them that, look, if I lose my job to correct all these problems so that yet me we need 2024, I'm happy. Because sometimes it's not about the job, it's about the security of the individual. Now, the security of the NPP member, the security of the Ghanaian, it's in the hands of the NPP. So, losing government, so these are the things, 2 days to elections, a day to election, who increase fuel prices. What kind of awkwardness is this? Now, who call elections? I count 1 day to election, and then you tell the whole country that you have increased fuel prices. It doesn't work. So these things.
Deregulation in the
it doesn't work. Politics doesn't respect these kinds of policies. Politics, then we come back quickly and fix all these policy issues. 1 month to election, you do a lot more politics. Even if a policy, you think say a policy no, and the people are calling for the removal of the policy. Why is it that election?
The issue of senior high.
Yeah.
Now you say in Kwalabe 5 million and over. And now one much me enrollee. San Kwala no kwanya 18 one to parents say to. Senanka, that could be enough for you to win.
Yeah, for senior high there, we have to commend Akufo-Addo for it, or on lapses.
I didn't amount to.
That's the problem. Because the party was weak. Those are all more about mobilizing the people and send the message at your communicators and everybody. The party was so weak. Now, my catcher will say, you can have the most handsome, brilliant, intelligent, smart presidential candidate. Say, party you're weaker, you will not do well in the elections. Because the party is the vehicle mobilizing the people and carry them to the polling stations to vote. So a party that is motivated, the membership is motivated to do the work and motivated to come out and vote. All these are the things here in the party. So it is very, very, very important that we look at all these things. All these low voter turn. I'm out for Bribery. Catch them and say, oh, we lost because your numbers now are out. That's our argument. No, for me, it's not a correct argument. There are two reasons why people decide not to give their mandate to the people. One is either the government are all running, and it is not run to the satisfaction of the people, or like the party has become weak and it has demotivated our people. So, and there are two ways to reject the party. Number one is to vote or to abstain. Number two is to abstain. So, abstention, now I'm for saying, yes, there are people, but then I'm one voting. They didn't vote because I'm losing confidence in the party. So this argument that 2 million of NPP people didn't come out to vote shouldn't even be said publicly.
How?
No, because why didn't they come out to vote?
Okay.
They didn't come
then
out.
They say it normally voter apathy at all.
No, voter apathy. They are cause voter apathy. Because General Secretary said they didn't treat the people fairly. Yes, look, now me here assembly on I think on our Peace FM. A gentleman who said he was a financier of the party. God is I mean, this
George
story.
Otibunsi.
Kwame Tikase, this story. How can this story encourage that gentleman and his whole extended family to vote for the NPP?
And then started party no.
Now I'm so sad that the gentleman didn't mention the name of the person. But on my clues, so I
know the person.
On my clues, I know him.
I know him.
Because if he said Abu had never worked at the National Security, Asensu had never worked at the National Security, Fawaz has never worked at the National Security. The only person who worked at the National Security is Von Brazil. So he should have mentioned his name. What is he afraid of? Now, these are the characters that made us lose the election. As a deputy chief of staff, you conduct yourself in this manner.
Now, they don't even talk about it.
I mean, it is amazingly. Sometimes where's be you see why a party no, but and yet say a deputy chief of staff would do this to a financier of a party. These are all the issues. Emma part no bar form no. And the only way yet me rebuilded this party is to put in place a stronger team. A team obian me manipulate. Whether you are presidential candidate, you are president, nobody should be able to manipulate our party. Because the first appointment is when we appointed you to become presidential candidate. The second appointment, say we near. So our second appointment is through NPP that the Ghanaian people are tomorrow. So I say I only respected this party at all times. How is it that in Bibia now I see yanko number 16, yanko this office now your party office.
Number 16, former electoral commission officer.
Yes, former. We've been running some campaign things there, and if you are looking for money, go to number 16.
You time anamoye national officers no a time no a large short no time
yes
na Bribery run free.
So I say the party no we should be assertive. Now say party no nya assertive now, and we allow individuals in the party to control this party. And the party, who that particular individual, no. And I'm sending me caution people who wants to be presidential candidates of our party. It's not going to be business as usual. The next executive of the party, we will put pressure on them.
My main idea was selection of a candidate for the party. No, was thoughts on that? And he's saying. Selection of a candidate for the party, no. What thoughts on that? Any say?
Any the biggest election, the national election I selected a presidential candidate. Any the biggest group almost selected because polling station executives now national officers to aba, regional officers to aba, constituency officers to aba. But we have to move forward and make it all move. One man, one vote. Obian to aba. Every single NPP member or registered or membership card or tuan dues. So that time no onko to aba in his electoral area. Because yes and no it has become more democratic, any more inclusive, any more liberal. Because, you know, the foundations of our party is based on liberal democracy, is based on transparency, and is based on inclusiveness. So, ma obia to abanwa, a boa party no pan, because conversation no, a be keen. Because, who cause Zebila to meet, you are not going to Zebila to meet polling 5 people alone. Say maybe or more, 400 polling stations times 5. And then you are going to meet the 400 polling station times 5 and then tell them say to abamao. This is a smaller who watch the number of votes are Zebila, and then watch polling station officers. No, you see they're far ahead. So like you are going to meet only 2,000 people and ask them to vote for you. Meanwhile, in Zebila, we got over 10,000 votes. So let's say 10,000, 3,000 are just people are almost sympathizers and supporters. Then the 7,000 are members of their party. So now when you go to Zebila, you are going to meet 7,000 people. Now, 7,000 people, come and see whether you can give all of them 200 Ghana cedis.
Unto me.
So these are things that are vote buying, very alien to the party. And the only thing I ever address is our vote buying is to make everybody vote. And I tell you, if you are Elon Musk in Ghana, a very difficult amount to go and pay money to everybody in this country to vote for you. And so say yes I know a beboa. So that part no bet my electee the right people to lead. Was
Bawumia the right candidate to lead your party?
In my view, at that time, as elections, and throughout the campaign, he was the right candidate. But I told you, no candidate can win an election on the back of a weak party. And that is how Bawumia got affected.
What suggested on some review?
No, we'll be jumping the gun.
Okay.
I told you, it's not about this time. It's not about national officers, any presidential candidate matter. We are rebuilding the party. Mistake, and we don't do the right thing and get the party informed and build the party and reorganize it and get everybody on board. And then at the end of the day, we take this weak party, go and choose a presidential candidate. Best review.
Okay.
This party is bigger than everybody, including the president and the presidential candidate and everybody. That is our party. Obianjai Bibia regroup it very well, get the party together and make sure we build a strong party. Timiko election 2028 and defeat the NDC and reclaim governance.
Mami, emfa test message kakramna ebusia yani honorable Musah Superior, former mayor of Tamale, former deputy minister for forestry commission, former CEO for deputy CEO for forestry commission. The NPP and Komo Afan Sama Hunya Pa. Test message Amoria ba was Kwame Nkrumah won himself some constituency no amu operate without party secretaries. Some party chairman no kra and ma organize any campaign rally bia o ma anye bi conference bia o ma anye bi o mu constituency. Sana assembly was say Kwame Nkrumah the NPP ni na interview no or say we a good man pa. Despite Nema Bonia NPP man or can a year George Otibunsu was your partner at heart was what done pa catch and said what done when Uncle Pond they were feeling in what be man empo sa guy na ye can wasem the Mercedes Benz no on fanadie and command Dr. Calipo Nidia or the eba ye no was it obesity Musah say honorable Edia na wo ye ebra hu se strategy no enweke no now your Tamale mayor how many votes and how they free north for buy NS from Taifa honestly there no programming we say a live big FM 96.7 Takrade opposite Bank of Ghana one also the buy was say this is Becky one also there or the buy no was it Kwame a long time. Good job, Kakari Boniface. Nidia or deba no on the obechai. What say? Busa honorable Mr. Superior say. If the leadership of the party is weaker, affected the party. Amount until affect the campaign team no. Until why you okay? I say I'm joining the interview. Okay. I mean for no answer in Sigo. Was say maybe text message kakra. Good morning, Kwame Nkrumah. The said honorable member our whole studio no. In fact, what can he pa current executives no must step down and 10 where the about was say that come from Kukrantum because that come from Kutumi was who see party no entuma ewa but you are washing our you are dirty linen outside sana no area ba was Kwame Nkrumah party members no esi eboa wo mo pa no mo grievance no mo concerns ne come Professor Michael Kwe committee no was say I wish them all the best na next year ma wadenta ne de ode ba ye no wo bi se fu na ye tun mu no e ka ho papa because and wo mo share that tun mu because no mo so mbe lose Gordon from Takrade say when they want to be minister na hey Gordon no where the other was coming from a chow me our fans pa bia me tie o anopa bia in fact unti me save skasam de because journalism school because you are my hero. God bless you. Me friend Daniel Kwesi Sabla me tie live from Samuel Kev opposite Kings Bar and also no me fa be me nu to aso na fe yensa ento aso okay 101.7 suni okro ye bo abreman benin was one minority in parliament and nobody should honor the oral team no and the about was say there be a Metsi government appointee or complaining why we lost the election no yeah na some kora some obetimi de odi na ba memfa master red kasoa o say was mo yasumtoye na nipa nyina ka ho was it full soldiers so o man hwe o no e ka ho honorable na mama misa a question we going forward reforms ben na ufil se eye ebebo amanyuko no
for reforms no there I think say my indicative me conversations no number one no, we have to make sure that Emma Obian Twaba from polling station, electoral area, regional, any national na yen move so that ye omuma Obia Twaba no ebema your vote no be inclusive, any wider and democratic, very very important. Na un say your electoral area hono you were only one person or your electoral area coordinator. Jumano too huge ama one person to be a coordinator of the electoral area. So me suggest to say ye institute an electoral area executive and ye 5-member electoral area executive to be chairman, secretary, organizer, youth organizer. So that electoral area no so 5 no number coordinating because their electoral areas are almost polling stations more than 5. Now say one person is doing the coordination no hard doing. So we should look at that. Now the other one will say yeah be elections are say all the most of the positions no we are na year appointment. Now me no I don't think say right. Yema obia contested except 2 positions. Now communications officer, any research officer no. Because omono ye here expertise bia so that ye appoint you because of those expertise no. But we say only deputy youth organizer, deputy there. I say that positions no na omoma obia uncontested. So these are the reforms and I said say ye parliament no per se parliament no strong na mbua part no the parliament should be independent. Now, as soon as the National Council appoints the leadership of the Parliament becomes a subservient of the National Council. Now, so the National Council, Parliament, the leadership will have to ensure, say, Parliament, accept. Now, omu choose omu leadership, they will be independent. Now, I tell you, say, we're very independent-minded institutions within the NPP now. Every party becomes stronger. Now and then a campaign team now make about the campaign team. Now there are issues we should be looking at. So reforms, no, these are some of the things in my view, going forward, no, part no, and making sure say they are implemented.
And Grassroots government appointees and also can be in Grassroots bufu pa integral woman to aban.
No, not me can, but like I said, if you watch me public utterances a number of occasions my issue statement calling on the government to do the right thing. So I am completely absolved because nkasa at the time your government no. Then that's the time say ubet man make case say na Musah superior time war government no then one kasa. Then of course you can make a case. But on several occasions I have made points say this policy is not good, that policy is not good. Yeah, making sure say we do the right thing. Utility, we shouldn't. In fact, the statement I issued on the PURC manner, I called on the government to reverse it. You can just go and Google it. Musah Superior calls out PURC on your Google. You will see the details. So I know, say people are angry, and then lumpy and together. Most of the CEOs, any deputy CEOs, no, they didn't go to campaign. Most of them didn't. One of them is the immediate past CEO of the Forestry Commission. He didn't go to a single place throughout the 20 people. And I'm wondering, Kwame, I know I'll let you talk. This man, he doesn't care about the party. Now I was wondering.
Because it was given to him on a silver platter.
I don't know where he comes from. Because this party, hold on. In this party, I have never, since 1992, heard John Alute. Yes, party, and then you got the job through the party, and you disrespect party people. Who say, "Oh, you're deputy there, you are just lalao." Yeah, deputy, what can you do now? Party, Forestry Commission, party for no bar. They come to me
because exactly.
Now, Misu, if I go and talk to this man, he will rubbish me. In fact, at a particular point in time, this man told me he's not here to do politics. And I realize it because throughout the 2024 election of Greater Accra, not a single constituency has only been to. I have been to almost every region. 3 regions are amount.
Oh no, I
don't know. I don't know. So these are the issues. If the party is stronger, but you see, look at what the NDC is doing now. And I'm delighted about it. MMDCs, they put it in the hands of the party. Say, interviews and give them the names. This is what the NPP should insist. And if you don't have a strong steering committee, the president will not listen to you. Now, the president should be afraid of the steering committee. So that if the president doesn't listen to you...
But you know, John Alotino, once na rising through the ranks.
Which ranks? Of the NPP?
No, of the Forestry Commission.
I don't know how he got the job as a deputy. Now you're deputy at the time of Sir John. No. Maybe Nimno. And then when Sir John died, may he so rest in peace. And I'm making a chief executive. Now this man, even people, Greater Accra region, the chairman secretary, he doesn't even know them. Now, who appoint you or be like this to be CEO of a strategic institution like Forestry Commissioner? Say now, if you look at most of the people are almost free abroad. Look, me call London in 2002. I think November 1st, 2002. 2nd November 2002, me enrollee as an NPP member of the UK branch. 2nd November, I searched for them and I enrolled as a UK branch. And I'm sure my colleagues are almost Ghana, they will attest to that.
Wow.
A lot of people are almost free abroad. And then they have been giving jobs around this country. They've never been members of the branches are almost free. Most of them have never been members. How they got the job, I don't know. Now, we disrespect to our party structures.
Because
nobody knows that. They are there. They are all over the place. And when you come to them, it's very difficult. Minimum, but it is not. It won't be fair. Now, because I was there and I saw the kinds of things are all here, and this party has come down. This man, he will not listen to anybody.
Why more party for no?
Yes, one more party for no, or say the chief of staff. He had told people, say, oh no, nobody can do anything to him because his friend is the chief of staff. Now chief of staff says, yeah, we. Where is the chief of staff now?
President Mahama by appoint to be a co.
Yeah, Forestry Commissioner. Of course, because almost establish board no. In fact, all of them, because me, my judgment. In fact, as soon as we lost the election, I went and took my things. In fact, days before the elections, my judge, all these government appointees who are still hanging around the departments, or more hanging yet. What is it? Whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, on you. So these are the problems, and we need a strong party to interrogate these matters. Because nobody, the president cannot just come and lo and behold, without consultation of the steering committee and say that, yeah, appointee ABC. No, we got to let the president know. And I tell you, the next national executive committee of their party, some of us will insist they do the right thing. If the president appoints somebody without consultation, then the party will withdraw the support for the president. The president cannot do anything without the NPP. I'm telling you. And as a party no issue statement and say that we should all withdraw our support for the government. Nobody should go and communicate for their party. Where will the government get people to communicate for them? So it should be important. Say, yeah, was strong steering committee. Now, that steering committee no, and the safeguarding party no. This party has been abused. Now, abuse our party abuse. It's not the best. So if you free abrochra or pejuma, you should route it through the branch of the party wherever you are coming from. Now, our party no be more recommendation to the party headquarters in Accra. Then they will send your name to the presidency. You cannot say that your friend is Assertive too. Your friend is Gabi.
But I no cross a bedroom baby no. Na nipa be for be pe na what government mo on appointments.
Mati, I've heard it. I've heard that the most powerful people in the government are informal. Mati say Gabi Chidako, Nana Assertive too, Ken Oforiata, and then Nana Dunya friend Bumpty, and then
Nana himself.
But there is this other lady, one year Mapachino. He has not done any work for this party, never campaigned for this party. But they be our Oti, Jubilee House, or you're very rude to party people. Your friend Sarah to attack. These people should not be allowed to conduct themselves in that manner.
And in there.
No, her job is finished. He was there being rude. I sent him today. I hear he's not very well. And, and I pray for him. But he's a very bad man. No, yeah, terrible person. Say one time I went there. No, say on your politics. So you tell me where you have ever seen Assertive to our campaign, my NPP. With Gabi there, we can credit Gabi. Anybody who says Gabi and Yejuma,
oh yeah, Juma.
Gabi is a strategist, very intelligent man, but he was overdoing it in government. But apart from Gabi, all those people are Omo, Assertive to Sarah to Atan, all these people. Where from them? So the party should keep track. We have to have a tracker to be able to check the party for our Omo Bojumama party, so that when we come to power, these are the people who should be in government. Competent, loyal, dedicated party people they should be in government, so that they can look after your party people. And I'm telling you, Mohammed's announcement, appointments are all demonstrate argument I mean making. We need our party people to be in sensitive positions in government. Sami Jamefi, the national communications director, he's just been given a lucrative job at PMMC. Big job, huge responsibility.
Wow.
Now, yeah, we are out there called Google Omo duties, and then you will know that is the way you look after a party, so that they are there. They will concentrate on building their party. They will look after the country. And 2028, if we don't do well, they will win again. And if you go and bring people like Alote, and then there are some names I don't want to mention. And I know the party people know these people. In the 2024 elections, I was all over the country. A few of the executives were all over the country. Majority of them were in Accra here. They didn't do anything.
They
didn't do anything. Now, such people, you make them chief executive, you won't find them. In fact, some of them were politicians, deep politicians, but they didn't go anywhere.
Oh, come baby.
Oh, they didn't go anywhere. One of them told one of them told me that, oh, but Musah, this thing, you know, it is clear that we have lost. And I say, I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about. And yet, so the steering committee of the party must take over the party and seize the party and make sure that every single person in the party, including the presidential candidate and his team, has to be in line. How is it that you run a campaign now? A campaign, there is no regular reportage by the campaign office to the steering committee. How? The steering committee should supervise every committee of the party. There was statutory committee and non-statutory committee. So our statutory committees, we have named them in the constitution.
My main thoughts on this. Now more director of communication for the party.
Yeah.
And I'm Musah director of communication for the president's campaign.
It was unnecessary. I have already told you the bigger plan. The bigger plan is that the national steering committee and all those they have appointed on the national steering committee should take over the management of the campaign. The current director of communications of the campaign, he would have been the director of communication of the campaign. And it amazes me that he was subservient. A whole director of communication of a party becomes subservient to a director of communication of a committee of a party. How can that make sense?
Say that again.
No. Me see, how can a whole director of communication of the party become subservient or servy under a director of communication of a committee, because the campaign is a committee of the party?
Yeah.
Every campaign team is a committee of the party approved by the National Council. So every officer of the party at the steering committee level, National Executive Committee level, National Council level is more senior than all members of the national campaign team. They are supposed to report to the party. So the people must be educated, and that is why I may carry constitution of the party around. Now say educating your people now. They will just leave the party for individuals, and then every single day for their own personal interest, they will keep undermining this party. And that should not be on. So a time need drew. He says, yeah, reforms. Time need drew. Now people are coming out to contest elections. Me make it direct appeal to our party people around the country. Say, they shouldn't take the money. Because at the end of the day, and they say, take the money and go and vote for wrong people. Vote strong people, and I tell you, very strong people will come out. Voting and then look at scorecard in the party. Juma in the party when they're in government. I tell you, tamale in 2020, who watch your results now? The number we got was over 30,000 votes.
Okay.
As mayor. Now, 2024, I'm not mayor. The number has decreased to 16 to 17,000 votes. That is my scorecard. So Obia Obisano, 2020, Tamale Central. Now, my number now it was 29,295. Tamale South, because there were two constituencies in Tamale Metro. Tamale South, 25,544. In 2024, Musah Superior na me knew her as mayor. What is the number in Tamale Central? Number no abba from 29,000 to 20,000. 9,000 votes have gone.
Wow.
In Tamale South, from 25,000 to 18,000. That is the scorecard of Musah Superior. So Ubisa said, dear na me haya ma party no. I can't tell you what I did this kind of votes as time I'm mayor. But if you go to Tamale and ask, I was the only politician in this country I ran open surgery. Only the whole Ghana. I ran an open surgery between 5 p.m. and sometimes 10 to 11 p.m. every single day, Monday to Friday.
Wow.
Party people, Ghanaian citizens are on what Tamale come and see me. Days that man run this program would be either weekends or now me to coin. So this is my scorecard. So steering committee must insist that we get the party people, competent party people, because omo Ghanaian. If you get the how can anybody argue that a political animal such as the chief of staff, your friend was saying, Julius Debra, how can you argue that he can be chief of staff?
You can't.
You cannot make that argument because or your competent is also a strong party person.
Yeah, former regional chairman of Eastern Regional Party.
That is why I say enumerate way. Yeah, party man. So it's a party for no bar. He will think about them. He will think about them. You can't go and put people, and then when people come, they claim they are busy. Assertive, you tell me, Musah Superior, that you are busy. When I was going around campaigning for their party, where were you? I wish him well. You can't tell me you are busy. You have to listen to me because
last time I know the motorcade they call club.
Media, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that they are almost here and Lucy. So
the issue of cronyism. Nana Asafu Mafo, advisor to the president, Neba Snit, here Kase crowd that's so. You benya way no one so de nere akwaha na we no ha party
me when it doesn't worry me if there's evidence that Omoye Jumama party no.
Oh, okay.
Omo qualifications. They are all qualified. But the other qualification that should put them there no Omo Nibi. Look at this lady. What's the name? Akufo-Addo's daughter. The chief executive of the Ghana Creative. What is her name? Jan Kruma. What is her scorecard? Juma Ben or Yema party now. Me see, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Find the people who are work. And that is going to be the challenge for the next presidential candidate and the next president of the NPP. Because we will encourage the steering committee. The steering committee will take charge, not the National Council. So most of the decisions should have to be arrived at the steering committee. After all, the president is there, the presidential candidate is there, chairman of Council of Elders is there, leader of our group in Parliament is there, all the elected members are there. What else do you want? How do you have to drag things to the National Council so that you can manipulate the council to take decisions in your favor? Omukoye review committee. They just came and then they announced their names to them. People want to talk, they won't be allowed to talk. And you say you are running a democracy. You cannot run a democracy in a manner you're running democracy. It's unacceptable. So, me encourage the party people, and I tell them that the spirit of Darocha is coming back. The spirit
BJ
Darocha is coming back. The spirit of Papa Osu Ankuma is coming back. The spirit of the Jake Obechebi Lamte is coming back. In fact, the spirit of J. Kufuor is already here with us.
Now,
the spirit is here.
Some say, Sabra, Wamudi, J.H. Mensa, Assembly Court. Now, one more sentencing. Na BJ Darocha was his lawyer. Party in Nkofon Shedenim. Sabarima John Jekun Kufuor. Over them 1.5 years.
Yeah.
As a political prisoner.
Yeah. So we need all the spirit to come back, because the real
BJ Darocha neba omoba power yendey.
I don't even know this.
Na
amount for Bebremi kasa na omusi. I am washing. Somebody said I'm washing the dirty linen of the party in public. What kind of illogical thinking is this?
We are bitter.
Bitter for what? I had jobs. Served as mayor, served as deputy CEO. What else do I want? I'm not bitter. There are bitter people. I mean, people who were sacked. If you were sacked and probably you are talking, somebody can say because you were, I haven't been sacked. Now, because I'm part of the government, say government no you're wrong, ma. I shouldn't correct them. Is that what kind of psychophancy is that? You are part of the government. I am prepared to get sacked. I am prepared to be booted out for saying the kinds of things me can. And at the time I was an appointee of government. So that the party, we can build the party. So people should stop saying they say I'm accusing the party. I am not. It's a conversation. If you don't want to be part of the conversation to address some problems that ended up in this massive, horrific, disastrous defeat, allow people to do it. I'm not the only person doing it. Or is it because it's Musah superior? There are other people doing it. And then they get the praises for doing it. But because Musah superior is doing it, and therefore it's wrong, it cannot be wrong. All these people who have made this party suffer the way we have suffered, we cannot accept their apology. The only way we can accept that apology is for them to stand down so that we can say, the right people to come and take over.
But when you say na spiritual.
Spiritual in terms of omuye jujuana.
Because ebano minim say prophet Owusu Bempa eba abonten be kan say the party no aye na wo mo challenge no 40% kro mo obwa
it's not any spiritual. It's not any spiritual. It's accumulation of the things that party no ye and the things that the government didn't do well. Voting now, you go and take money and vote a wrong parliamentary candidate. It will how. Now, if the parliamentary candidate is also encouraging bribery and corruption as our polling station level now, how is it that I hear a lot of aspirants went and give television, fridges? Now, the steering committee should monitor this and disallow that and name and shame people. Yeah? Even national executive election, all these things also. And then you say, oh, this man is good. But you know, one first you can you are
because Obiwa about 700 delegates. We 5,000.
Check the person. Check the person. And these are the people the oral people are chasing. And then you will tell me that, oh, oral need constitutional mandate and there. It is not about the president-elect has the right to say that I'm appointing people. If you have issue, come and report it to them. Now, if you haven't stolen any money or if you haven't stolen any land, why should you be afraid of oral?
Almost say, where did they draw their powers in the first
No,
place?
it is not like that. All those arguing like that, they are mischievous. Okay. The man is the president-elect or a Ghanaian. Look, Musah superior, I can come and announce that I'm putting up a team together. If you know anybody has stolen government money, come on, Musah superior, a common person like me, I can do that. The constitution does not stop me from doing that. They are not implementing anything. They are not doing anything judicial. In fact, they have announced, say, as soon as the Attorney General is confirmed, Omojuma, they will send the complaints to you a journalist. Who bet man announce say unim obi say Okita state car, Okita state vehicle on Babe reporting. So sad there no omunjaika.
But why are they afraid born out of political witch hunting?
I don't think so. What in witch hunting? I mean, me handy me vehicles. I think a week before the president had even announced say yanko handy a vehicles. What political witch hunting? If you have stolen government money, then of course you are going to be in trouble. If you are keeping government vehicle, you'll be in trouble. If you have done some form of corruption, you'll be in trouble. Because even if the oral is dissolved, the Attorney General will come after you. Mm-hmm. Do you get the point? Mm-hmm. So me, a party for almost stopping making these comments. It's as if you are making those comments as though anything wrong. And I am confident that majority of our party people didn't do anything wrong. So they should allow the oral to continue to do that. And the NDC, I am confident that they can't do anything. Mahama is already failed.
Why?
Oh, you don't know? He's failed completely. Number one. Uh-huh. Number one. Mm-hmm. LB DN.
Yeah.
I can't even pronounce it.
LGBTQ+.
You two are not even pronouncing it correctly.
Proper human sexual bill. Or
say or faith does not accept it.
Sure, that was it.
The president didn't sign the bill. Mm-hmm. Now say Adianoka. Or say yankoye national conversation about it. Mm-hmm. Flip-flopping. Very poor, very bad judgment. A president shouldn't do that. So that one, so I'm waiting for some judge. Where some judge says that Mahama will know no peace if he doesn't sign the bill. We are waiting for some judge. If some judge is a genuine person.
Heard the president, John Dramani Mahama, can say say yetimi kyerɛ ye mmɔfra no ne
No, it is not. You shouldn't be saying that because he had already declared it unacceptable. He had told people in the Eastern region, the clergy, that his fate, and then he will not accept it. So he should be speaking strongly against it. But he knows now the consequence. Because we have been slaves, the Americans and the British and the international communities are telling us what to do. So he's afraid that he may not get aid. And that is exactly what Akufo-Addo did. So we don't need unprincipled people to lead us. On the basis of that, Mahama has already failed.
Now, but
another one.
A bill, no, the other one. Bill, no, has to be relayed.
No, it has to be relayed, but the conversation about it should be strong. You should reject it outright. Follow the rules, but we want to see the conversation strong. We want to see outright condemnation of the bill. We want to tell you that if you relay it and then it is passed by Parliament, you will sign it. Kwame. This is the kind of conversation, not flip-flopping. So his judgment is poor, and I'm disappointed in him. Number two, more policy. And the policy is talking about first-year student in Ghanaian tertiary institutions.
Yeah.
You have heard Clement Apak. Oh, yeah, a key member of the NDC.
What can I say?
And a member of their education, I think he's a member of the education committee in Parliament.
Committee of Parliament, ranking member.
Or our policy no compulsory. Why didn't you indicate it clearly in the manifesto?
Pablo Kurabekan,
Why are you talking like this? Why are you disrespecting the Ghanaian people?
You'll be allowed to go for a loan.
No, that is not what they said. I will bring them, and in fact, it's in my car. Okay. It is very clear. Sir, academic fee for year one level 100 students for all tertiary students in the country. Free. Now today, you are letting your agents go around the country and talk the way they are talking, and we haven't heard the president issue a statement to say, no, what they are saying is not what represents me. So this one shows that this is a government that will collapse midway. I'm telling you, because they are dishonest, they are not right, Mohammed's judgment is poor, and that is not what this country wants. And that is why me rally NPP for let's do the right thing. Let's put our acts together. And I'm telling you, Ghanaians will vote for us because these people cannot be trusted.
General Secretary now.
General Secretary says an position. I mean, why would the right thinking person look for a position this time? Reorganization. 2 years to elections.
Yeah. Now, Mama, so okay, President Mahama asem. Policies bebree wɔ hɔ, the 24-hour economy no nie ɔno ba bɛyɛ menwuma ba the youth connect policy no ɛwɔ hɔ job obe create nim ne ade nti kwa ɔde Pablo akwakoto hɔ for youth and employment nim ne ade it is okay say only 2 weeks kura so afɛ na oyiyi ne nkrofo a. No,
I am saying say two decisions are two things are more here, and I have lost confidence in them because everything is about honesty and fairness and transparency. They are more now for creating the youth development ministry from the Ministry of Youth. I think there's a laudable idea because concentration better on the youth development. Says that's our sports no the whole ministry. But so it is a very laudable idea. Say Mahama has created the sports ministry. But going forward, 24-hour economy, it is unworkable.
Unworkable.
We are run 24-hour economy is run by the private sector.
Banks will run. What passport officer backlog we move back.
24-hour economy is not even run. 20% of that 24-hour economy, 80%, it's not even run in the US. You say, you will go when you go in the night. You go around wherever you go. I don't want to tell people where you are going. You go around wherever you are going and see whether there are people working there. Factories. Before you do the 24-hour economy, there should be employable institutions. There should be institutions to employ people. But you can't go and tell the ministries to run 24 hours. You can't come and tell private people to run 24 hours. And who will pay the workers? Which company will pay the Uber running shift? You for 7-member staff in the morning, 7-member staff at night. Is government going to pay the 7-member staff that is being recruited by the company? So for 24-hour economy is a sham. And I tell you, they will struggle to do it because something that is realistic, it cannot be achieved in our circumstance right now. Because no catch say the whole world say this is a devastated economy, an economy that is struggling, an economy that is completely gone. So we are waiting for them. And I'm telling you, mark it. Even Mahama is going to struggle to form a government.
Why?
Wait.
Ministers in what year?
Wait and see. Government is not about ministers. Cabinet. He says he has 14 days to finish his cabinet. Polls, how many days left for 14 days? Some few days. We are waiting for him to finish his cabinet and things like that. He's got to do the balls and everything and make sure that he says 90 days he should form a complete government. If he does that, I will give him a score on that. If he does that 90 days, he's able to put in every single government personnel in government. I will give him a score on that. But 90 days, I will come and tell you that he hasn't finished. Who they mark it? You see, you can't take Ghanaians for granted and speak the way you spoke and lambast up because our president was not listening to the people, and they exploited our advantage, and undermined the collectivity.
Your president wasn't listening.
He wasn't listening to anybody. If he was listening to people, National Cathedral, another flip-flop cry. You, John Mahama, you and your agents and everybody. Now we will condemn National Cathedral, which was in right order. Now today you are saying, we'll talk and see how we are going to build a national cathedral. That is totally wrong.
But
the way they condemned the national cathedral, and they said that it was a corrupt thing, it was an avenue for corruption. And then most of the spokesperson of the NDC.
Honorable, 8 million.
That's why I'm saying it is wrong. And some of us, I spoke to a senior member of the party, and I'm sure Otia or Behun that to tell the president, say this was not right. How can you tell people, say, you are building a national cathedral and this one is a private thing, you are going to solicit money from the Ghanaian people, any other sources to build it, and then some huge sums of money, over $50 million of the Ghanaian taxpayer, has been invested into this project and any infrastructure. In fact, the Christian community collectively have declared it a program that is completely unhelpful for the Christian kingdom. And Mahama, you condemn it, your assigns condemn it, your communicators condemn it, Obia in the NDC condemned it, and then they say it was the biggest hole, and that if they come, they were going to stop it. In fact, a lot of people suggested there, my hospital and clinic, all kinds of things. And today, Mahama says to the whole country that, no, we are going to see how we can work together and build a national cathedral. That is another poor judgment. If you speak straight in government, you have to speak straight. Opposition, you have to speak straight in government so that people can have confidence in you. But we are not seeing that. So, our people, we need you back or be taking the time. My conversation, no cause, nobody should stop anybody from making public criticism about their party. It is the way this party is born. We are a democratic party. Otherwise, it will create what we call silent withdrawal.
Mate say why you be I will suggest say youth and volunteer mobilization is crucial in every election. Election a course we na bibi sense wrong.
It was totally missing. It was totally missing. You remember in 2016, now you were the loyal ladies. And these were motivated because a lot of them were abandoned in government. A lot of the loyal lady people, they come to my office at the Forestry Commission. They were abandoned in government. And then the youth all over the country. So when we say 2020 election, now we didn't have the youth effort, the volunteer groups. Now we in fact 2018, 2012, 2016. Now a volunteer group, and then somebody was coordinated even at the national level to coordinate the volunteer groups around the country. In this particular election, there was no such an appointment because there was absolutely lack of apathy inside volunteer groups across the country. So if you go on NPP WhatsApp platform, you will see the frustration. And we need to be pointful. This is the word of one of my boys. Yes, and you're pointful to the facts. And nobody, I mean, I don't really care. I have only one friend in NPP, only one. So if you say you don't like me, you are not my friend. You are not. I have only one friend. Just one.
Why?
He's called Kobe. He's one. Anybody I have met in their party, we have met because of their party. So,
he was
my boss. He's not my friend.
Oh, okay.
He was my boss. Very, very, very nice character. But there are issues. I mean, I tell you, a lot of things. So you still want to bring issues. Very, very nice character. Very, very competent, courageous, strong person. These are the people in the future. If they find space in their partner, people like Boachi Ajako, Asamoah Boateng, John Bredu and Co. These are the people.
So be Twamon. Say, okay, when Monko in the interim. When the emphasis of Omegina chairman, as acting chairman, we may general secretary, acting general secretary, we mayor acting treasurer.
No, say your institutions are mandated by the constitution to do this kind of work. And that is the National Council I spoke about.
Okay.
So, you see, it is very important to be careful about these things because look, disaster here we shouldn't go and repeat a team that will come and further give us more disaster. So you don't mention those names, but privately, if for example the National Council, if Omu resign, privately I will write to the National Council and say, in my view, these are the people I think. Say, there are certain things, strategic communications. No, that is why in all through my conversation publicly, no, I mention anything strategic. Strategic communications run down quietly. But to critique a poor performance is the right of every member in a liberal democracy to do that. And the NPP is a liberal democracy. And everybody should be allowed to speak his mind on issues that all feel it has undermined the party. And that is how this party came together. When we're doing the Buzia Dankwa. 1990-91, 25 years, Musah Superior. I was a member of the Buzia Dankwa. Metamorphosing into NPP. At the age of 24, 25 years, I was a member. That was the time Rawlings came with the iron fist. And it was not easy. So that is why I'm able to tell you the stories of R.I. Alassane, Bawa Wima, and the rest of you, Stephen Kriku and Co.
Yeah.
Professor Albert Dubois. Very strong, powerful people. And lately, Jacob Echebilante, Alajete, Odoi Sykes. Oh, my goodness sake. Odoi Sykes. The man is not well. I wish him well. Odoi Sykes. Which presidential candidate or president can undermine him? No way. What? This is the kind of leadership we're looking for in there, so that everybody will be in line, so that a party, a better organized party, and the party will become a bigger umbrella for everybody. The last oligarchy, we should never have something like that in the NPP. We should never ever have a small group of people managing the whole government and the whole party. Never in the history of this party should we do that. Never. And I'm making a direct appeal to our party people. Let's come together, together, work it together, and make sure that we get the right people. Now, getting the right people, they will stand for you. I'm telling you, before you become MP, and president, it means that somebody in your local community, some little corner in your local community, no about your mama party.
Selection of parliamentary candidates. In December, spell out these voter party. I
say I am fairly. I say I am making sure fairly.
Fairly as in what?
I'm making forms not available.
Okay.
All this disqualification. The only disqualification meetings are justifiable. Or be probably or a pedophile.
Okay.
Number or your pedophile is obia or I don't know how to say it. Correct, that's number one. Number two, our criminal record. Apart from that, obia.
But almost disqualify Madame Fubi. Adaya Christmas, prior to primaries, Okoche Emoni and one party delegates.
These are the things that in the process of the yes and no. probably that should be another way discouraging, but to do direct disqualification, it will affect the party. Sometimes your strategy should be in a way to blindly look away from the reality. That is how strategy is all about. Now, if you do risk assessment and strategy development, it will tell you the MAKI. So that is why we need big heads, talented, smart individuals to lead this party. Articulate, bold people. Now, if you don't have these kind of people at the top, every single day the party will be manipulated by a group of people. Every single day. Because the president will always be there and you will have a small team. And the small team will undermine you. If you have a strong body, the president, nobody in the presidency should be talking directly to the general secretary or national chairman of the party. The president should do that.
Concerning appointments, Ebra mo aba ban mu no, wo some constitution no mo ye no bibia eyi.
Your constitution. Oh, that constitution. NPP constitution.
Mo aba ban mu. Then president no kwa na ye so le ya. Appoint to be a party in say.
In fact, in the constitution, me catch out the role of the presidential candidate. No, only role behind the constitution. But is it that he has the power of the Ghana constitution? So way and your statute, way and your law. But the Ghana constitution is the law. The NPP constitution is not a law. So, no. The only way the president will listen to us is for us to tell him, say, if you deliberately make this party weaker, we will withdraw our support for you. Here, this kind of discussion to go on, so that the presidential candidate would know that if you come in and think that, oh, you have got the job and therefore our party is useless, how can a president go to a place, all reduced so, and somebody has called in to say that, Mr. President, if you don't do my rules,
the Quabri roads.
That's Ashanti region. Mean to Abama NPP. And the president has the audacity to say, oh, say Kokromuchuni Ayodia. You can go and vote NDC. In fact, this is the most unacceptable behavior of a member of a party. Now, on the president, under Article 3, in case I am Pamno. Yes, because he's working against the interests of the party. But he's president. So this no, but you don't do that. You are president. Every member of the party, your job is to go and galvanize support for the NPP. So, and that is why you should be patient. Your temperament should be down. Campaigner, whatever people tell you, tolerate it, because we here or vote. Now, if we are NPP campaigner, now call baby, now be cast and now now who here no vote? Then he will take his vote away. And who yes or no, you are going to decrease the numbers we saw. You have a president who is carrying chairs all over the country.
What's the director of culture or on a bonsa?
What's the meaning of that? Muhammad did that a little bit in the first time.
On Land Cruiser or Timo.
The chair.
There be Bako, there Bako on the bonsa, and our Tenacia no Abema appellations. Your man a whole Land Cruiser.
Look, Miami research across Africa and some parts of the world. I have not and never seen. But you see, time Oba be handy over, no, he was sitting on an ordinary chair. He didn't sit
farmer.
Yes, he sat on the chair that Obia CTN. Oh yes, I know. Offended a lot of people. And it makes the party becomes a ridicule institution. So when you know a party, but God willing, he's done his job. I'm here to say or Nipa or running for president and vice president. I have heard that. But I have heard that. A very reliable source or his people. But I am just, president is my father. I'm just telling him, sir, he should enjoy his retirement in peace.
By a party member or Nipa?
No, he has the right. He has the right to support. But I'm telling you, he should behave like Kufuor.
Oh, Papa no onim. Okon wo jane chi. We ya anye yi nti o Nipa.
He should behave like, he should be fair. He should not Even if he's doing that, he should do that extremely quietly. But to start talking to people, say something because I have heard, say wakasa and from a reliable source. He has his president, he has people you want to become presidential candidate and vice presidential candidate. I think that talking was not right. It was inappropriate.
If he wants to enjoy his peace.
Yeah, if he wants to enjoy, because you see, the moment he goes into this politics, a lot of people are going to come after him. And that will not be fair. I don't like my former president or one retirement and then there are a lot of issues. I don't like it.
Now, our president not alcohol.
Oh, not really. Not really. I mean, Juma, as Deputy Chief Executive Forestry Commission. And I'm very grateful to him, say, at least in the 2 terms, Mami Juma as Mayor of Chamale. And I deserve it. It was a deserving appointment. Not like the Jankurma one. As NTB one. Juma Ben Omuye. Akufo-Addo, I worked for him, I campaigned for him, my family voted for him. I have been campaigning for the NPP since 1992.
Bedi atu osebia wo penipo trust no ono so a lawyer ni chese eba sen nkrata atro ne ade ade.
He's not the only lawyer in the NPP. There are lawyers omo bojumama party no. They should be doing those jobs. Haven't you seen Mahama, Callistus Mahama?
Yeah.
He has appointed a typical political animal to be his executive secretary.
Very good.
He is no, in fact, Osania, who say Osan letter or executive secretary. That is a strategy to tell people that I'm just a secretary. But as in Tubedu, they be executive secretary. Callistus or a political animal, papa. So all the people around him, spokesperson, probably. I tip him to become communications minister, spokesperson, acting spokesperson, Bawa, Callistus, chief of staff. Do you get me?
Sure.
These are all politicians who know the NPP and the NDC and the NDC. Party for no. So I say I'm working hard so that we can get our party people motivated. And the motivating is that this party is your party. Nobody owns their party more than the grassroots members of their party.
Okay.
Now, and Kasa. And this conversation until such a time that we think, say, the party has come back to point. Mm-hmm. And then they regroup it proper. And then, of course, we start taking on the NDC. Okay. Look at the communications department across the country. It was totally down because they were looking for help. How can you have a communications team? They can't even buy a car in government. And I'm suggesting that they should be supported by the party and government to buy a car. Go and look at our party headquarters. And look at NDC. NDC were in government. They built their party headquarters. They spent $3 million to build their party headquarters. Who they mamin kasa? Say me na me interview no. And we have been in government for 8 years, and we are living in that shambolic building.
Oh.
In fact, under normal proper health and safety laws, nobody should live in that building.
Are they?
Say look at the corridor. Now, our corridor, if there's a fire outbreak and we have over 50 people in the building, how do you go out? There will be a stampede. Look, these are facts. If NDC can spend $3 million to build an office, when we are building the office, they can't say anything because we will ask them, where did you also get the money to build the office? The next steering committee of their party should build an office for this party. And I will be the lead advocate for it. If we're in government, we should build the office. NDC, they are then making. Where did they get the $3 million to build the office? Or can they answer? Or else you go and look for them. Oral should investigate. And that should be a big story for you. And I want to see it in your portal. Oral should investigate how the NDC got $3 million to build an office. They should declare it for the Ghanaians if they say they are transparent and incorruptible. They should declare to Ghanaians.
Wow. Honorable,
I mean, the point is that finally, no, me say a party obia take it down. And I wrote an article. I'll remember with the article now. I'll say we will rise again. Unity is very, very important. Mumo obia ankasa. Na ye kasa we will put our acts together and come back. NPP never dies. NPP never dies. A government dies. Example is just what happened. How this government collapsed. But the NPP is hanging on. Nobody's now talking about our Akufo-Addo government. But we are talking about our party. So we are here motivation so that we can win again. And I don't care who is the presidential candidate. Let's build our party. At the end of the day, say Ghanaian citizens of the NPP decide, say, Kwame is the candidate, and Chris is the candidate, then I tell you.
But His Excellency, Nana Akufo-Addo, we need right so much me can say, experience is the best teacher. Me Gidi say, me swam party for candidate, me we win presidential candidate, we win advice.
You shouldn't do that. If you want peace in our party, I want to retire peacefully. Maybe a very harmless advice. Or person want to retire peacefully, you shouldn't get involved deeply. Quietly, he can be doing strategic things with his boys, and probably they will select people they want. I don't have a problem with that. Publicly, no. Publicly. Kufuor, His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor conducted himself excellently. I think he should be guided by the conduct of Kufuor. So primaries were now Kufuor out publicly to support. It was after the primaries, and of course he has not all right to declare his support for Dr. Bawumia because Kufuor was a member of the NPP. But in the course of the primaries, no Obian who said Kufuor was quiet. Nobody had said or say Opewe and now Opewe. No, he didn't say that. That is statesmanship. That is respect for the position you have just earned, former president. So my appeal to Akufo-Addo is that, and I love him. He's a fantastic man. My appeal for him is that he shouldn't allow anybody to come and as I talk no one because Okasa IP. This thing that I said, I hear he said it at the Jubilee House at the time he was president. So my final point is there. NDC, we don't pray for them to fail because as a patriotic Ghanaian, no, you shouldn't do that. But I'm telling you, they are not competent than our people. We are better managers of the economy than them. They are better propagandists. We are better propagandists than us. So if we come together and choose a proper party leadership, party, no, and then of course, call 2028, a better win and win well, and then we can return to govern. Now, you're a governor, like you said. I heard you before when I was coming. Say, John Mahama is carefully making appointment because of the mistakes he did. Now, maybe when we come back again, the next president of the republic will not carry a chair around. Will not instruct chiefs to wake up and greet him. Will listen to people when they say the National Cathedral project is terrible.
And for being two board chairman, so only 8 years.
Your cabinet reshuffle, your cabinet reshuffle. Are they the only people who have worked for this party? Are they the only people? Are they the only people?
Debbie.
So, sir, the next president of the republic would, and if some of us are alive, it won't be easy for him.
Inshallah,
Rabbi. It won't be easy for him. We will remind him. We will criticize him. Maybe, very soon I'll retire. I mean, retire. What do I need? Very soon I'll retire. I will be 60 in a couple of years' time. And then what do I need? I don't need anything. All I need is for the tradition to move on so that I can be happy, so that we can make people like Bawa Wema, Adam Gariba, Alaji Salifu COP, Stephen Kreku, Gladys Asma, Alaji Aliu Mahama, Odoi Sykes, Peter Alajete. We can make them happy in their graves. And those who are alive, they would be smiling in their homes.
Honorable Musah Superior. And I know Eddie Common. Nankomoy, a friend of conversation, I shall say,
OKFM 101.7.